Good morning. I realize that some of you ladies here today heard already what I'm about to share, but I look at it this way. It's like seeing a movie for the second time. You get something different out of it the second time you see it. So I don't know about you, but I brought here the presence of the King with me. And I'm not talking about Elvis. He's dead. He's gone. King Jesus, he's alive and he's well. Our theme yesterday was Daughters of the King. And so I declare to you ladies today that you are all his daughters, and he delights in the beauty of his creation that he sees in you. And I encourage you to spend some time in his presence, because 1 minute can change your life forever. As my husband prayed at church on New Year's Eve, he said he sensed in his spirit that 2013 would be a year to remember. And so in honor of that, I want to share some of my memories as a mother with you. Being a mother, go back a little bit. Today I can declare to you that I'm the mother of 6 children, 2 sons and 4 daughters, but I have not always been able to say that. Being a mother is an awesome and sometimes bittersweet thing. I do not consider myself a great mother, and I won't even stand here today and tell you I did my best, because I know I could have done better. But the great God Jehovah is a God of restoration and second chances. I myself became a mother for the first time in July of 1987, after being married for only 13 months. My first son, Jonathan Daniel, was 2.5 months premature, stillborn, with blonde hair, weighing only 3 pounds. He is buried in the state of his birth, Texas, in a plot donated to us by my great aunt and uncle. My parents handled most of the arrangements because I nor Raymond were fully able to do so. My 18-year-old brain and heart could not fathom the depth of what was happening to me. So I did not deal well with the whole experience, and I buried that memory deep inside for many years to come. But nonetheless, it still marked the beginning of my motherhood. 1 year later, I became pregnant again and gave birth to Jessica Ray in March of 1989 on an army base in Northern California. Weighing a little over 5 pounds, she had light brown hair and the blue eyes I had prayed for. I so enjoyed having a little girl, and we spent lots of afternoons shopping for the cutest clothes at the Army PX. That's the military's version of Walmart. Jessica was reading at 3 years old, a fast learner of most things, including cutting hair, which she did to herself at 3, and she looked like a punk rocker for a long time after that. When she began talking, she never stopped. I mean that, even in her sleep. She is a homeschool graduate, and today she works the night shift at Open Arms Care in Nashville, caring for physically and mentally challenged adults. For almost 5 years, she was an only child. But in December 1993, this time on an Army base in Southern California, 5 weeks early and just 3 ounces shy of 5 pounds, Rebecca Christine arrived. She had no hair until she was almost 2, with brown eyes, and looked just like a baby doll Jessica had at the time. Once again, the Lord answered my prayer, as I had prayed for a child to look Cajun, as is my heritage. Rebecca had no trouble being heard despite her small size, and was delightfully mischievous as a child, locking me out of the house on several occasions, among other things. But being born in the Mojave Desert and moving to Tennessee when she was only 2.5 years old, she was afraid of grass. She is an honors student graduate of Riverdale High School, who is currently working for herself as a babysitter and a house cleaner organizer. The 4th time, I just knew I was finally going to have another boy. and I didn't believe the doctor when he told me it was a girl. Erica Denise was born in May 1996 in Franklin, Tennessee, 5 months after Raymond and I left the Army life behind. Weighing 5.5 pounds, she had the darkest curly hair with hazel green eyes, just like her grandma, my mother. My prayers answered again for a child with green eyes. This little one came home to a house with 9 people, as we lived with my family at the time. And she could fall asleep anywhere at any time. Erica has always been a flower child, very laid back, a stop and smell the roses, artsy kind of girl, who, instead of cutting her own hair, enlisted the help of her sister Becca to do it for her. Unfortunately, her curls never came back after that fateful day. She is a sophomore taking the fine arts pathway at Riverdale High School. On June 19th, 1999, at 9:09 a.m., after a difficult pregnancy and 5 weeks early, I had my 5th child and 4th daughter, Monica Rochelle, in a hospital in Colorado Springs, Colorado. She weighed 5 pounds and also had dark hair, but we never knew the color of her eyes because she only lived 2.5 hours after being born. As we later found out from an autopsy, her lungs didn't develop past 5 months in the womb, and she could not breathe on her own. This was a total shock, and I was in no way prepared for it. But the Lord kept me in what I like to call the bubble. I testify today that I literally and physically felt a cushion of peace around me, and believe with all my heart that that is why I did not lose my mind, even though this was the 2nd child I had lost. I had only one tormenting thought. The devil kept trying to tell me that my Monica was not in heaven, even though Raymond had a dream the night before I delivered her, and he saw the Lord holding her hand and taking her to heaven. But when my girls came to visit, the first thing my oldest daughter, Jessica, told me was, "Mama, I know Monica is in heaven." At that very moment, the torment left for good, and the peace of God reigned. Raymond was there for the birth, but had to return to military police training. So along with my girls, I traveled to Texas with my family to prepare for her funeral. This was the beginning of my healing, not only with Monica, but with my son Jonathan as well. When I buried my daughter next to her brother on that warm June day in Texas, Jesus helped me close the chapter on the past 12 years of my life where I couldn't heal from the loss of my son. At that point, I became a new woman, the mother of 5 children, 3 precious girls that the Lord had so graciously allowed me to keep, and my only son and other daughter, who I knew were alive in heaven, cradled in the lap of Jesus. Out of respect for the men here today, and because it's very personal, I will only say that at this time I experienced a physical healing in my body at that time. And so I got on with continuing to raise my 3 girls. From time to time, Raymond and I discussed having another child, but I just couldn't bring myself to commit to it. Although the Lord had been with me so tenderly during my loss, I still had fear it could happen again and knew that I couldn't go through anything like that again. And besides that, my life was very full as it was and continued to be for the next 5 years. The girls told us many times, we want a brother. And we would tell them, well, you better pray about that. And that's exactly what they did, which leads me to another miracle in my life. I believe with all my heart that if it wasn't for the prayers of my daughters, Jessica, Rebecca, and Erica, my 6th child, and second son, David Wesley, would not be here today. It was a complete surprise when I became pregnant only 1 month after moving here to Tennessee the second time in 2003. He is a miracle because I was told he had a high chance of having trisomy 18, a crippling and fatal type of Down syndrome. We were given the chance to get amniocentesis, which is a risky procedure in itself, and abort him if trisomy was found. We walked out of the doctor's office that day, determined to rely on our faith in the Most High God, and he did not let us down. David was born in July 2004 at Middle Tennessee Medical Center in Murfreesboro, fully healthy, weighing 6 pounds, with dark hair and blue eyes. My prayer to the Lord was that he would weigh at least 6 pounds, because I had never had a baby that big, which is big to me. But today, he is a 3rd grader at Buchanan Elementary School, and he is all boy. For these 6 lives, I give God all the glory. They are his, loaned to me for this time. Thank you.